Snow and ice could fall.
Gearing up for the storm, we're with Raleigh road crews who are gathering salt to prepare for the first snow in the Triangle in 1,000 days.
Friday's winter weather could spell a treacherous evening commute. Strong warnings today from the Highway Patrol and what you need to have inside your car.
Then WRAL investigates a stunning confession connected to a local woman charged with murdering her 2 adopted children. It has been more than 1,000 days since we have seen it. In less than 24 hours, it's going to be here. Snow returns to the Triangle. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. Here's what to know right now. Wake County schools are releasing 3 hours early tomorrow. We're going to have more schools and what their changes are coming up in just a minute. The governor has just declared a state of emergency. The ice threat is increasing. We're going to be under a winter weather warning tomorrow. One of the many reasons why it's a WRAL weather alert day.
We have live team coverage for you. We begin with meteorologist Mike Mays in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Mike, time it out for us. Who's going to get what when?
Late tomorrow afternoon, we expect some flurries and some ice pellets to begin to fall. And then tomorrow evening, it really starts to come down. Again, that's why we have our WRAL weather alert day. It will be a wintry mix with accumulating precipitation. The threats will be icy roads and the potential to have power outages, especially in our southern counties. Now, there is a winter storm warning for much of the area for the day tomorrow and through 10 a.m. on Saturday. Cumberland, Sampson, Wayne County, and south and east near Wilmington, winter weather advisory, meaning you will have some wintry precipitation, but not quite as much as up to the north and perhaps not as the dire effects as points northward will, and perhaps not the road conditions too. So here's where the storm is located, over the southern and central plains, dumping snow across Oklahoma and Arkansas. All the southern states are expected to have a touch of snow. Northern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, all in line. Millions of people will be impacted by the storm. And here's how it unfolds for us on Futurecast. High resolution. This is our most reliable model that we tend to lean on the most. 7 a.m. on Friday. Tomorrow morning, we see mostly cloudy skies. The precipitation's building in. The air loft is cold enough to support snow developing at about 10 to 15,000 feet. Then it'll fall down into some of the more milder air, so to speak. So initially, it'll evaporate, maybe make its way down to the ground as sprinkles and then ice pellets and then some snowflakes. And it's later on in the evening where you see the blue, 4 or 5 o'clock, that it starts to encroach our western counties. You need to be where you're going to be during the duration of the storm by the time we get to 4 and 5 o'clock, because it'll start to come down and the road conditions will deteriorate, and that will continue to spread eastward as we go through the night. There's 9 o'clock, widespread snow across much of the area. The exception may be our southern counties. We're really going to have to watch how this evolves hour by hour to really get an idea of what's going to happen. And the thinking is that there will be some warmer air, roughly around 5,000 feet. So if you have ice crystals developing here at 10 to 15,000 feet. Down here is some warmer air. The snow falls into the warmer air and it melts, but at the surface it'll be around freezing. So in our southern counties, once that warmer air begins to intrude aloft, we could start to see some freezing rain take place. By midnight, the snow pushes farther up to the north. The pink is a band of freezing rain, which in reality could be much larger than what our model is showing. So be aware of that. And that could include Wake County and points southward. 3 a.m. we go through time and the storm pulls away. Accumulating precipitation on the ground will be with us in the morning on Saturday, making road conditions dangerous. But through the course of the day, the sun will come out, temperatures warm up, and we will see some melting. But Saturday night into Sunday morning, they'll likely be refreezing, so we'll probably have issues for Sunday morning as well. Snowfall potential in the northern counties where you see the white, we're talking 1 to 3 inches. There could theoretically be some isolated locations that see more than that, maybe up to 4 inches. The European model is showing some locations up here up to 5 inches. Farther south, it's about an inch or less. Any change in the way the warm air intrudes could make a big difference on who sees how much snow. And right now we're talking about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch for ice accrual in our southern counties, which could result in scattered power outages. Coming up in less than 15 minutes, I'll have another look at Futurecast town by town to see what you can see in your community.
I'm Brett Neese here in the WRAL Live Center. Following that breaking news that Governor Josh Stein has issued a state of emergency for this winter storm that is incoming. And what that means is that it unlocks a number of state resources and it allows a number of state agencies to kind of work together with less restrictions so that they can more efficiently and quickly respond to whatever this winter storm brings different parts of our state. And it is important to note that this state of emergency is for the entire state of North Carolina. Also activates the price price gouging law when that state of emergency goes into place. Also, this winter weather is having an impact on a number of our schools across our viewing area. A lot of them are dismissing early tomorrow, a number of 2-hour early dismissals, and then some schools even going so far as to just have a remote learning day instead. Wake County is going to dismiss 3 hours early. Just within the last hour, we learned that Warren County will dismiss 1 hour early. We have that crawl going down at the bottom of our screen, so we will update that continually whenever different schools add to this list, and we have a full list online right now for you at WRAL.com.
All right, Brett, thank you. You can expect live weather coverage every 10 minutes on WRAL News Plus. That's available over the air on Channel 34, Spectrum Channel 1257, or you can stream it for free on WRAL.com and the News app.
You know, we're coming to tell you this because even just a little bit of snow or ice on the roads can cause some big problems.
WRAL's Chelsea Donovan joins us live from I-40 in Raleigh after speaking with the Highway Patrol about driving in this kind of weather. Chelsea.
Yeah, so right now we're in the thick of this evening commute. It's about the exact same time we are expecting the makings of this winter storm for tomorrow. And the Highway Patrol and all the other officials we spoke to today are hoping all of these cars you see behind me are parked firmly in their driveway because it's just too dangerous for you, others, and officials out on the roadways.
We've seen the images of cars all over the road in the past.
If you've lived in Raleigh for at least a decade, you may remember this, a picture 10 years ago that made national headlines in memes and, of course, history.
We know it doesn't take a lot of snow for things to get treacherous.
But the Highway Patrol hopes they don't see this mess on Glenwood Avenue in 2014 again.
We want people to take it serious, whether it ends up being an inch or 5 inches.
Simply put, don't be out on the roads. It's a danger to you, others, and a strain on first responders.
Because of the timing of it, we hope it allows people to stay home, get a good bowl of chili going or something, but staying off the roads is going to help you, it's going to help us.
Given the timing of this and the evening commute, many will have to be on the road. Perhaps tonight, though, check your vehicle if you have to be driving.
We know that with cold temperatures, that's going to affect your batteries.
Check all your fluids and your tire pressure and be cautious.
Drastically decreasing your speed, creating a lot of space between you and the cars around you, you're going to set yourself up for success.
And move over. It's the law.
The law requires you to move over, give them room, and know that they have a dangerous job, but one that is very important, and they're out there working for you.
Lastly, have your emergency kit at the ready.
So make sure that you have, warm clothing. We're talking about hats, gloves, socks. Make sure you have extra medication. You have non-perishable food. You have water.
All right, so I asked the Highway Patrol to remind me of what you do if your car starts skidding because, frankly, I don't remember it. Let's just say your car starts skidding to the left. You want it turned to the left. He said, but you shouldn't have to be there because most of the time, if you're having to do that maneuver, you're simply going too fast. And of course, if you do happen to skid, make sure that you're completely off of the roadway and you get to a safe place so you're not a danger to yourself or to others. Live in Raleigh, Chelsea Donovan, WRAL News.
The DOT is doing what they can to prepare the roads for this winter weather. Today, the city of Raleigh applied brine to the roads.
At least they had some nice sunny weather to do that work today. WRAL's Sean Gallagher joins us now live with why they brine the roads in the first place. Sean?
Yeah, they have about 840 miles of roads that they're trying to put that brine on, and the strategy is really the same as anybody. You can kind of see here on Western Boulevard as the headlights hit the road, that kind of off-white, kind of chalky residue that you can see. That's supposed to protect the roads from really freezing over. All of this in hopes that the people that do need to be on the roads tomorrow can do so safely. For the first time in 3 years, people around the Triangle are waiting for a snow day. Some enjoying the ability to work from home.
Probably just watching it, having some hot chocolate in front of the fireplace.
But others don't have a choice.
Hopefully we'll close the clinic soon and make accommodations quickly as needed, but the highways are always treacherous.
Ashley Lake has to drive to work in Durham tomorrow. As a lifelong North Carolinian, she's nervous about the ride home.
When you're from North Carolina, you just know that you don't know how to drive in these conditions. I don't care who you are.
Like this NC State junior.
It's Elijah Scribner.
He has spent more years in college than times he's seen snow.
I've seen snow like twice in my life. I mean, I've never driven on the ice, so I'm a little worried, but I saw them putting out whatever on the roads.
That whatever is this, a salt brine that should keep the roads clear.
I mean, in my experience, it's really effective.
It's effective because the solution drops the freezing point of the pavement from 32 degrees down to about 18. So the roads should stay thawed as long as the air temperature is above single digits.
Starts as a snowfall, and it may buy you a few hours of time before it starts really sticking to the pavement. And that's what you're trying to do.
And get this, the mixture is roughly 23% salt. The ocean, in comparison, is about 3.5%. Nearly 7 times saltier.
Our goal is to get the roads passable as quickly as possible. And, that's what our whole focus is here.
And Raleigh DOT tells me that they have about 50,000 gallons of that salt brine ready to go, and they anticipate going through almost all of it, about 40 to 45,000 gallons in the next 24 hours. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Hopefully it all works. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. Coming up, a stunning confession.
She literally had me buy a trash can, dude, and keep him in there for a month.
WRAL Investigates speaks with a woman in that recording about her confession connected to a woman who was charged with murdering her 2 adoptive children. We'll tell you why she's coming forward now.
A stunning new development in the case of a Fayetteville mother accused of killing her adopted children. A woman confirmed to WRAL Investigates she dismembered the body of Blake Devon. He's the boy investigators say Avante Devon abused and starved to death, along with his adoptive sister, London Devon. The woman coming forward is Blake's other adoptive sister. She explains only to WRAL's Chris Lovingood why she's speaking up now.
Before her adoptive mother, Avante Devon, was arrested, Cherish Devon talked to me about her abuse. Abuse she says she, Blake, and London suffered while living in their mother's household. But when we talked this time, she not only talked about how she was a part of what happened after Blake died, but also how the abuse led to it.
I went through a lot as a child. And for me to sit here right now, today, talking to you about it is even hard for me.
Locked in a bathroom with her siblings, severely starved. These are just some of the ways Cherish Devon previously described to WRAL Investigates in May of 2024, how she suffered while living with her adoptive mother, Avante Devon.
It got to the point where I was hiding dog food in the vents just to eat.
When Avante Devon was arrested in June 2024, Fayetteville police said they believe Blake was also abused and starved to the point his body could not handle any more torture, and he died.
Then Avante developed a plan to hide Blake's remains, and she forced another person in the household to participate. They dismembered him and burned his remains.
Cherish Devon confirmed she is the other person, the same person on this recording.
She literally had me buy a saw to cut his open and disintegrate the body.
During our interview, she said she was 16 or 17 when this happened, though in the recording, she says she was 18. We're working to verify that part of the story.
Just to clarify, that was you in that recording that
Yes.
your former partner provided.
Yes.
You sounded terrified
Yes.
in that recording.
Because I was afraid of what Ava was going to say and do.
When she asked you to be a part of this crime, what did she ask you specifically?
There was no asking. There was just, you do it. You're doing it. If not, you're getting in trouble. And I'm sitting here as a young child just thinking, oh my God, like, what do I do?
Are you remorseful about what you did, your part in this?
It wasn't that I was like, I wanted to do this on my own. It disgusts me that I can live with myself knowing what I've seen, what I've done, because someone led me on and forced me to do something as I was a child myself.
So you believe you should not be punished, but rather you should be considered a victim in this too because of what you endured.
Regardless of what anybody says, I am.
There may be some people, as you've probably already seen already, saying she should be in jail. What would you say to those people?
Until you walk through my shoes and you've experienced what I've been through, you can't say anything.
Why did you reach out to me?
Because I'm tired of the harassment and people thinking that they can just go on my Facebook page or comment on my page and stuff like that. Something that's not true.
If you could say anything to Avante right now, what would you say to her?
That I hate you. You told me that you were my mother. You told me that you loved me. You told me that you were going to be there for me, and you never were.
Now, we did reach out to Fayetteville Police and the Cumberland County DA's office to weigh in on what Charis Devin talked about during this interview. We'll update you as soon as we hear back from them. For WRAL Investigates, I'm Chris Lovingood.
That's pretty powerful. Coming up tomorrow on WRAL, Chris talked with Charis Devin about what she witnessed in her brother's final moments.
All right, let's talk about the weather that we've all been waiting for a number of days now. We're planning for it. There it is right now, dumping snow on Dallas and some other states, and it's moving this way. It's going to affect most of the state here in North Carolina.
There are only 2 counties in our state that are not under any advisory. It's New Hanover County and Brunswick County, and that's it. So that's probably the only location that won't see any wintry weather. This is going to be an expansive system for us. And as Gerald mentioned, the snow is really coming down. And look at all the millions of people that will be impacted by this. Winter storm warnings in pink, winter weather advisories in the purple, which extend all the way up into Indiana and Ohio. That area up there got the snow last week. And here's our state. Most of under winter storm warnings, winter weather advisory down east, a little bit of a winter storm watch up in the northeastern part of the state, but that should become a winter storm warning at some point. So we step out tomorrow morning and we're looking at frigid air once again. So the ground is going to be cold. So once the precipitation begins to fall, it would likely immediately stick, especially if it comes down heavily. By lunchtime, we're not expecting any precipitation. At some point in the afternoon, we'll probably start to see some flurries, maybe a couple of ice pellets, maybe even some sprinkles, but eventually the atmosphere will moisten up enough where this will really start to come down. Looks like heavy snow off to the west by 5 o'clock for Chatham County, Lee County, also Moore County. Air temperatures are dipping into the freezing level and a little bit below, especially by 9 o'clock. And look at the widespread expanse of the snow at this point from Pitt County, Wayne County, Raleigh, Cumberland County. You're in a little bit of a mix. And then farther north, where it could be snow for much of the event, you could see upwards to 3, 4. Isolated totals could be up to 5 per what we're seeing on the European model. Again, if it is all snow. By midnight, still a good swath of snow in our northern counties. Our southern counties looking at rain and a mix. Now, it is quite possible, and our version of Futurecast is not showing it, but there could be a wide area of freezing rain, which would be that pink. So it's possible if that occurs, there could be some locations that see up to a 1/4 inch of ice accrual. That is the threshold to have power outages. There could be power lines coming down, hitting trees and such. So in our southern counties especially, be prepared to lose power. In case that happens, you need to have some kind of backup. If you have a generator, you know how to use that. Up to the north, still snow occurring up in our northern counties. And in the morning, that all departs. And we'll start to see clearing skies as we head into the morning and afternoon. So what is frozen on the ground will gradually melt, but we're likely to see refreezing into the evening Saturday night, and Sunday morning as temperatures dip back down into the upper teens to low 20s. But the situation that we have during the day tomorrow and tomorrow night will not be a repeat of what we've seen in years past, especially 2005 when we had that skating rink and things shut down. Back then, temperatures were in the low 20s during the event. The coldest it should be would be about 28, 29 degrees. So a lot of this will be very slushy, but create hazardous driving conditions. 38 tomorrow, 43 on Saturday, Sunday through Thursday of next week should be dry. A little milder by Monday with our high around 50, but then another Arctic air mass builds on in, and it looks like it'll be dry with this next round of cold air with morning lows in the teens and upper 30s for our highs.
And just think, maybe it'll be another 1,000 days before we see snow again after this one.
We'll see.
Hopefully we can enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. All right, Luis Fernandez is live in Chapel Hill. At least it is a nice night to get to Chapel Hill tonight and watch some women's basketball.
Yeah, Deborah, we have UNC and Duke clashing here. Fans lining up outside of Carmichael Arena. They are very cold. Hopefully it is warm in there. Coming up, I tell you why this game has massive implications for the ACC women's basketball standings. For the 50th time in the history of this rivalry, UNC and Duke women's basketball will clash with both teams ranked in the top 25. You have number 15 Duke playing number 19 UNC and Carmichael Arena behind me in less than an hour. The Tar Heels have won 3 straight games against Duke here in Chapel Hill, but the Blue Devils have won 2 of the last 3 overall. This game matters in the big picture. Let's show you some video from last year's game in Chapel Hill. That coveted double bye in the women's ACC tournament goes to the top 4 teams, and the top is crowded this season. 6 ACC teams are in the top 25. That includes UNC, Duke, and NC State. It's going to come down to tight records and tiebreakers. These triangle matchups are going to make all the difference. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. We're going to go ahead and head down the road on Stadium Drive here in Chapel Hill to Kenan Stadium. We talked about it yesterday. The NFL rumor mill is flying with reports that some GMs, some owners want Bill Belichick as their head coach. But here's what UNC football general manager Michael Lombardi said today on the Pat McAfee show.
1,000% committed. I know for Coach Belichick and myself, those conversations, look, guys that do the insider stuff for the NFL, they've got to put stories out there. That one was a complete falsehood.
There might be intrigue there from NFL teams, but Lombardi's saying there's no intrigue on Belichick's side of things. Now, switching gears, we're going to jump to the other side of the country where wildfires are causing mass destruction in Los Angeles. Tonight's NBA game against the Charlotte Hornets and Los Angeles Lakers has been postponed. According to multiple reports, Lakers head coach J.J. Redick, the Duke basketball legend, has lost his home in the Pacific Palisades. After Tuesday night's game in Dallas, Redick said, "Our family, my wife's twin sister, they are evacuated." He is hoping for the best for everyone involved. Remember, UNC and Duke facing each other. We'll have all of that coming up tonight on 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock on Fox 50 and WRAL. Luis Fernandez, WRAL Sports, Chapel Hill.
All right. Thank you, Luis.
NBC Nightly News coming up. More coverage of the LA wildfires after the break.